Peace, infinite waters, diving deep once again. Beautiful deep divers, we are out here in the mysterious art gallery. I'm just, breathing in that good ass prana, baby. Deep divers. Shout out to everybody in the chat. I see you. Shout out to everybody diving deep. The cat down the road told me to tell you it loves you. Deep divers, we got a whole lot to talk about. Now, shout out to everybody who just watched the new video up right now on YouTube. You woke up, the golden age. We talk about the signs you're living in the golden age. Deep divers, something big is happening on the planet right now. The golden age. They don't want you to know this. The New World Order. 369. How's everybody doing in the chat today? We're live streaming Deep Divers in high resolution. Shout out to everybody diving deep. But please, can you get Ralph Smart some breakfast? Because we ain't even had breakfast yet. Can I get a hello there? Wonderful deep divers. Take that, take that, take that. Good ass energy I'm sending you. Now, what's happening on the planet right now, deep divers? This is going through a lot of people's minds right now on the planet. It doesn't matter where you are. South Africa, Florida, Ireland, England, the Gambia. Coronavirus has all the clout right now on the planet, deep divers. What? Slow motion this side. Now, so many things are happening, deep divers. Where shall I start? Where shall I start? Okay. Someone asked me, what do I mean by the golden age? Okay. And I want to remind you, deep divers, that even though they're trying to tell you like it's the end of the world, be afraid. No, this is nothing more than a whole new beginning. So I want you to remind yourself of that. When I talk of the golden age, deep divers, I'm talking about a time going back to ancient Egypt or ancient Kemet, where you had a prolonged period of peace, prosperity, wealth. Things were flowing. And right now, we are moving back to the golden age. I want to remind you, deep divers, there are no coincidences or accidents in this universe. Everything is happening in divine order. And it is no coincidence that this lockdown is happening right now, just as humanity awakening, just as humanity are awakening, because I told you, this is actually 2012 in the Ethiopian calendar, deep divers. And 2012 is when the calendar ended. Right now, deep divers, a lot of people are waking up. 369. Let me talk about 369, deep divers, okay? Let me go to the slide. Nikola Tesla, what did he say? If you only knew the magnificence of 369, 3, 6, and 9, then you would have a key to the universe. So I want to remind you, deep divers, 369, those three numbers are the most important numbers in the universe. I was born on March 3rd, deep divers. That's 33. That's why the universe works in my favor. Why is 369 so important? Why was Tesla fascinated with 369? Okay? Because when you realize the number 9 is actually the number of completion. Wait a minute. A baby's in the womb for 9 months. What? Slow motion this side. So you got 6 and 3 is 9. 3 and 6 is 9. So 9 is the unity on both sides. So there's a reason why, deep divers, this Rainbow Kid, Tekashi 69, okay, people say he's a rat. He's 6'9". And that's why the universe is in his favor right now. I want to remind you, deep divers, when we talk about what's happening on the planet, a lot of people are being distracted. Because in this matrix, I told you, a lot of people think that you just have to be popular. You just have to be famous. Have you heard the saying, deep divers, the numbers don't lie? No, deep divers, the numbers do not lie, okay? Tekashi 69 he had a lot of views on a video. What does that mean? What does that mean if he's gone viral? A lot of people don't even know what that means. See, this is why we got to talk about this. A lot of you don't really realize that the numbers do lie. The numbers can always be manipulated. So I want to remind you, deep divers, it's not about how popular you are. It's not about how famous you are. Because when you realize the people who really are at the higher echelon of power, they want less. They want less views. They have private meetings and you're not invited. Everything is a code of silence. So in other words, they don't want a lot of views. They don't want attention, right? They want no one watching what they're doing. And that's why they have the power. So I want to remind you, deep divers, it's not just about clout chasing. It's not just about being popular. You have to remind yourself, deep divers, this is a weapon of mass distraction. And this is why so much of the planet is dumbed down and desensitized. Because you think that if somebody has a lot of views, if they have a YouTube Gold Award, if they have a lot of subscribers, then that's the thing to be. Something big is happening on the planet, deep divers, because many people are starting to wake up. Uh-oh. They're starting to wake up, deep divers. They're starting to realize that they aren't just this identity. They are not just this identity. They are so much more than they were told. You see, deep divers, I want to remind you, all I've got to do is be myself, and I'm living in infinite abundance. YouTube Gold Award. Over 250 million views just on YouTube alone. I'm here to remind you, deep divers, you can still be yourself without selling your soul. Shout out to everybody diving deep. A lot of people right now on the planet are starting to realize that the solutions they've had for us are not working. The solutions they want for us are not working. They're starting to realize that actually we don't just have to have a vaccination. We don't have to have an app tracking our every single movement with COVID-19. Shout out to you. Thank you, Justin, for the offering. We don't need a vaccination to solve our solutions and our problems. This is the big thing that's happening on the planet, deep divers. This is the great awakening that's happening on the planet. At the same time, with the great awakening, you're also going to get the great distraction. And I want to remind you, deep divers, like I told you, you have to wake up knowing that you are the power. You have to wake up knowing that you are already verified from the universe the moment you were born. I meet a lot of people. They want the flashing lights. They want the fame. They want the fortune. And I want to remind you, deep divers, I already had all of that. Even before YouTube, I already felt like a superstar. I already felt like I had a gift. I had a talent. I had a message to share. So I want to remind you, deep divers, you have to start realizing you are incredibly powerful. Matter of fact, you are stardust. In a world full of masters, deep divers, who rules? What? Slow motion this side. Thank you for the offering, Capt. I want to remind you, deep divers, everything in this matrix is in reverse. Yes, you've heard the saying, the numbers don't lie, but the numbers do lie in the matrix. The numbers do lie in the matrix, deep divers. The numbers do lie in the matrix because once again, they will give you somebody to distract you from your true calling. If you realize, deep divers, you see, I told you there are levels to this shit. If you realize I can manipulate the views, I can create a persona on the internet, and it can seem like I'm the most popular person in the world. But when you realize reality is what you focus on, when you know that, everything changes. So be very mindful of, thank you, Crypto, I appreciate the offering, of who they tell you is the most popular person in the world. You always have to remind yourself, deep divers, the journey within is the most important one. You have to be connected with who you are more than who someone outside of you is, especially when they're not benefiting your life. What is the golden age all about? The golden age, deep divers, is about people realizing it's all an illusion. It's all smoke and mirrors, And you have to go in to get out. The only way out is in. And a lot of people right now, deep divers, thank you for the offering. We're just getting started. I'm just warming up, deep divers. We got all night. We got all night. We got all day. Okay. A lot of people are very miserable in this matrix because they spend all of their time comparing themselves to other people. They go on social media. They say, who has the most views? Who has the most subscribers? Who has the most followers? A lot of people don't love themselves because of this. They want to get the clout. They want to get attention. You see, the golden age is all about you realizing, deep divers. And they don't want you to know this. The more you go outside of yourself, the more you lose who you are. And I want to remind you, because I've been around a lot of people, even in the music industry, and I told you, things aren't always what they seem. With a golden age comes inner knowing, comes enlightenment, comes true knowledge. Because everything is in reverse, deep divers. The people who you think have it don't really have it. The people who you think don't have it actually have it. What am I talking of? Let me give you an example. Let's take a musical artist, for example, okay? Someone who's just signed a deal, $15 million deal, $10 million deal, even $5 million deal. You might think, oh, they've got $10 million or $15 million. No, that money is a loan, deep divers. That's all it is. It's just a loan. They've got to pay it back. So the one who's making the real financial gain is the one behind the scenes, not the one in front of the camera. Is the one who owns the publishing. So that's why I told you, deep divers, I'm only one person making videos, but I was smart enough to know that I've got to own all the publishing on Infinite Waters, and that's what I do. So I got the Master P deal. I didn't get pimped out here. And a lot of people who are signing these contracts are getting pimped. They've sold their soul. Like Tila and I said on the live stream, these celebrities will love to say something. A lot of them contact me on Instagram. I won't mention their names. They're like, Ralph, I watch your videos all the time. I really want to speak up about what's going on, but I know if I do, I'm going to lose everything. Thank you for the offering. Everybody, Poet, I appreciate you. I really want to start saying something, but I'm afraid if I do, I'm going to lose everything. And that's what happens. Celebrities who sold their soul, I already did a video on that. This is what they don't want you to know. The people who you see on Instagram, who you think have the fabulous lifestyle, even on YouTube, unless they have really come into alignment, many of them can't say what they really want to say. In fact, the more popular you get, the more you are controlled. Kanye West said, if you say anything, you lose everything. The reason why I can say whatever I want, I'm a free being, deep divers, is because I was wise enough to stay sovereign, right? I'm a sovereign being. That's why I can say anything and the universe works in my favor, because what did Nikola Tesla say? Let's read it, deep divers, okay? If you only knew the magnificence of 3, 6, and 9, then you would have a key to the universe, okay? So 3, 6, 9, I told you, numbers govern this reality. Numbers govern this reality. This is all part of the golden age. When you realize that numbers were before, they were before words, okay? Numbers were before words. That's why 3 is the Trinity. I always remind you, I was born on March 3rd. I came in on the 33. That's why the universe works in my favor. And there's another guy who realized the power of 6, 9. And I told you about the numbers. When you learn 3, 6, 9, you also hack in to the secrets of the universe, which is instant manifestation. So you got to remind yourself of what's going on. It's all about the numbers. 3, 6, 9. If you are on those numbers, you will always manifest. There's a reason why they have the 33-degree Masons, because 33 is a magic number. Why did Walt Disney join the 33 Club? Why do the elites always talk about the number 33? Because 33 is Christ's consciousness. It's the highest level of knowledge. 33 is the master teacher. I was born on March 3rd at 3:03. That's 33. I told you, deep divers. That's why the universe works in my favor. Thank you, Tiago, I appreciate the offering. It's all about the numbers. It's all about the numbers. So you have to be 369. I appreciate the offering. Okay. You asked, why did Jesus die at age 33? When they said Jesus died at age 33, they're saying that he rose to Christ consciousness. Christos, which means the anointed one. When they say Jesus died at age 33, it means that he became the master teacher at age 33. It means that he entered the secret society of knowledge at age 33. That's why all the elites are in the 33 club. Go and research Walt Disney, and you have the 33 club. You're always going to see the number 33 linked to positions of power. 33 degree Mason. 33rd. Yes, 33. So I want to remind you, deep divers, the power that numbers have in governing this universe. This is what they all knew in ancient Egypt. That everything was about frequency, vibration, and energy. Shout out to everybody diving deep. How you doing in the chat? I see you all. Shout out to Benjamin. Shout out to Lola. I appreciate everybody. So I want to remind you of this because the numbers do not lie. What's happened is that the cabal actually manipulated the numbers to trick you. So let me give you an example. If you have somebody, we use 6'9" as an example, who has a whole machine behind him, we can make him the #1 artist in the entire world with the numbers, okay? Because it's all about the clout. It's all about the numbers. Who has the most followers, right? So that can easily be manipulated. So you have to remind yourself in the matrix, because everything is in reverse, the numbers do lie. What? Slow motion this side. Do you know, deep divers, there are people on YouTube who actually have millions of views, but they suppress their numbers, okay? Because they don't want the truth to get out. They banned David Icke off YouTube. Why? Because they were afraid of the truth. So once again, they will manipulate the numbers to carry out their agenda. But I want to remind you, deep divers, with the golden age, it's time for you to take back your power. Deep divers, it's time. Woo! Let's do a little 360, baby. It is time for you to do a little 360 in the heart of nature to really start feeling everything that's happening. To really start knowing how infinite you really are. A lot of people are going to suffer, deep divers, if you are so attached to this matrix. If you are so attached to social media, Instagram, all of these things will keep you trapped in the matrix. I don't even check how many views a video gets, deep divers. I'm so far removed from that. I only upload videos. Then I'm off to nature because I already seen it. I already been there, done that, got the t-shirt. I'm an OG of YouTube. So I already know how it goes. But when you're young, you're very, very impressionable. You think that, hey, you're always searching for external validation. The golden age is when you realize your value is internal. What? Slow motion this side. You realize, deep divers, your value is internal. Shout out to everybody who's been diving deep. Shout out to realizes that it's not just about how much money you have. What is more important than money, deep divers? What is more important than money, deep divers? It's the quality of life that you have every single day. The quality of your life is more important than money. The quality of your life. Thank you, Kyle. I appreciate the offering. The quality of your life is more important than money. You see, deep divers, what good is it if you have all the money in the world, but you don't know who you are? You see, a lot of people, I get thousands of messages every single day because I told you there are levels to this shit. There are levels to consciousness. Soon as a human being is born, and this is all about the golden age, okay? What they would learn in the mystery schools. As soon as a human being is born, they are the bot. They are the robot person. They are what I call the drone archetype. This is the first level of consciousness. This is the person who is just doing what everybody else is doing on the planet. They don't think for themselves. They are easily manipulated. They just live a lifestyle which doesn't serve them. Every single day in fear. I was like that too, deep divers, along my early journey. They wake up in fear. They wake up afraid. They think everything is something to be feared. And the drone archetype is an individual who does not have a mind of their own. These are who the Cabal absolutely love. They love the drone archetypes, and there are billions of drones on the planet. We call them bots. They're still human, but at the same time, they are under mind control. This is who the Cabal feed off, and they bank on that they can always control these bots, these drone archetypes, and there are billions of them. Thank you, Fork and Paradise. I appreciate that. There are billions of drones, bots, automatons, people who are human, but they're not really aware of who they are, what they came here to do. In other words, they are only identifying with the physical. Everything is physical. How do I look? How's my butt on Instagram? Let me start twerking. How do I look on the gram? Everything is physical, okay? This is how to identify the drone archetype. Deep divers, there is something big happening on the planet. Oh, baby. Thank you for the offering. I appreciate that. 369. The golden age. They don't want you knowing this. So that's the first level of consciousness. It's the drone archetype. This is the individual who just believes what everybody tells them. This is the individual who is only about the worldly possessions, material possessions. They are only consumed about how they look. Listen very closely. How they look in people. This is the drone archetype. They are only concerned about external validation. They need fame. They need attention. And deep divers, you have billions of drones on the planet. So I was a drone at one point, deep divers. We all were. You see, you remember when you listen to a song, Deep Divers, for the first time and you actually believe what the artist was saying? Yeah, you're a drone. Do you remember sometimes when you're like, gosh, I want this to impress them? You're a drone. Anytime as well, you just solely identify with the physical body, you're a drone. Anytime you just reduce yourself to some subscribers, followers, and likes, you're a drone. Because you are so much more than that. That's the first level of consciousness. And the cabal always, like I told you, they feed off the fear of drones. And they know that there are millions of people, billions in fact, who wake up scared every single day, who wake up fearful because they think, hey, this thing is coming to get me, it's coming to kill me, without really doing critical thinking to say actually what's going on. So when we move on to the next level of consciousness, we talk about the artist, okay? Now, the artist is the second level of consciousness. Awareness. Many artists, who's your favorite artist, deep divers in the chat? Name them, okay? You got wonderful artists like Marvin Gaye, Bob Marley, Mariah Carey, whoever it is. A lot of artists become the voice of the people. And sometimes an artist just tells you about how they're feeling. Artists are incredibly powerful. Why? Because artists, once again, they carry the voice of the people. They speak for millions of people. But the artist is not fully awake either. Many artists also are crowd pleasers. They want to entertain. They get caught up in attention, externalizing their value to how many views you got in a video. Did you go viral? How many subscribers you have? So many artists are still caught up in attention. They want someone to clap for them after they've sang a song. But at the same time, the artist is slowly awakening, realizing that I want to be free. That's why many artists, they have an alias, AKA they're moving to a different persona. Okay? So artists are incredibly powerful, but at the same time, many artists are going through a battle, an internal battle of who they really are and who they think people want them to be. Okay? You had so many great artists who commit suicide. Kurt Cobain, phenomenal artist. But he was going through some inner battles. Little Peep as well. Great artist. He was also going through some inner battles. So as an artist, it's a lot of responsibility because many artists are living, they're starting to raise their consciousness, their awareness, their frequency to realize something is not right. Okay, so when we talk of the third level of consciousness, deep divers, and this is the awakening that's happening right now on the planet, it is the alchemist, deep divers. It is the alchemist. It is the being who is starting to realize that I am the world. The world is a reflection of me. It is the butterfly. It is the transformation. It is the letting go. This is the drone. This is the one who is just gluttonous. This is the one who is just fulfilling all of their lower desires. This is the one who is fulfilling their higher desires. In other words, their higher calling. And this is the alchemist. The alchemist is the individual who can always turn things around. And you see, deep divers, this is why knowledge is so important. This is why in the golden age, and the golden age is slowly coming back for many. Many people, even if they have a bad day, they can turn it around. Because the secret of alchemy is making the best out of the worst and never allowing external events to govern your internal condition. What? Slow motion this side. So that's what you're seeing. Many people are becoming alchemists on the planet. Many people are taking everything that they're being handed to, whether it's from forced vaccinations, okay, whether it's from the fear of quarantine, whatever it is, many people are transmuting that energy into something positive. Thank you for the offering. 2020, I see you. That's the alchemist. That's the third level of consciousness, and it relates to the golden age. You see, Paulo Coelho, who wrote the book The Alchemist, and one of the lines in The Alchemist was, "And when you want something, oh baby, the whole universe conspires to help you get it." And when you want something, the whole universe conspires to help you get it, deep divers. And when you want something, the whole universe conspires to help you get it. So I want to remind you, deep divers, if you can realize every single day that you can achieve anything, you can manifest anything. I told you, you have to start realizing you do not have to believe what they told you. You are capable of. You can flip the whole script. This is what the golden age is about. It's when you become a co-creator of your reality. I told you, deep divers, in this reality, you can manifest anything. You can be locked in jail and come out and be a huge success. When you believe in you, when you are an alchemist, when you are taking what everybody's throwing at you and you're transforming it, when you are turning lemons into lemonade, when you are no longer feeling like a victim. Because a lot of people, they go to work, they're like, oh my gosh, I can't deal with this. I'm in the matrix. I'm stuck. Help me. That was me along my early journey, deep divers. You throw the papers up in the air. But the big thing that's happening, a lot of people are no longer settling. Thank you, Daniel. I appreciate the offering. A lot of people are no longer settling for the 9 to 5, for the life of slavery. A lot of people are starting to realize I can be anything. I told you. There are 4 levels of consciousness. The first one is the drone archetype. That's the robot. That's the bot. The one who doesn't think for themselves. The second one is the artist. The artist says, wait a minute, I can create my reality. I can do whatever I want. The artist is right. They can. But what happens with the artist is that they get caught up into entertaining. And to be an alchemist, you've got to let that go. You see the balloon, deep divers, let it go. Let it go. You got to let it go. You got to make sure your value is internal. And it's not easy. It's not easy to let that go because, see, the artist archetype is the one of praise, admiration, clout. That's the ego. That's the trap. Big trap. Number 2 is always the worst trap. It's the most alluring. It's the trap. Thank you, Brittany. I appreciate that. So, like I told you, you may see somebody with millions of followers and think, gosh, they're so peaceful. No, deep divers. It depends if they've done the work or not. You see, and this is what the golden age is all about. When you realize your peace of mind is the greatest form of wealth. Not how many views you get, not how many subscribers you get. Deep divers, I don't care if I've got 1 million subscribers. Even if I only had 100, it wouldn't bother me. Because I'm still going to be sharing what I'm sharing. It didn't change anything. I'm still the same me. So I'm somebody who's already got millions of followers. It doesn't change anything because I'm aware that's all an illusion. You see, in the golden age, you realize those are illusions. We're talking about manipulated numbers. Everything in the matrix is an illusion. The numbers do lie in the matrix. You can pay somebody. Edward Bernays, the father of PR, okay? He had the Lucky cigarettes. He made a lot of women start smoking through these advertisement campaigns. So you can create anybody in the matrix and you can make them the most popular person in the world. You can give them 1 billion views, 2 billion views. It's all an illusion. So you might think everybody is tuned into them, but no, that's not what's happening. That's just been what's manipulated. So you believe that. So you have to be very mindful, deep divers, of the tricks the cabal play every single day by creating people for you to worship. And that's why a lot of young people, what happens? They want the Instagram fame. They want the YouTube fame. They want to be famous. Deep divers, I already got this. How did I get it? Because I'm 33. Universe works in my favor. I only got this just to show you that you have to make sure you're staying true to yourself above everything else. Because I've seen a lot of people lose themselves. And this is what happens. Your skin is amazing. Thank you, Caps. I appreciate that. Shout out to everybody in the chat. I've seen a lot of people lose themselves. You see, deep divers, everything is about alignment. And now we go to the fourth level of consciousness. It's the wizard. The wizard is the fourth level of consciousness. It's Gandalf in Lord of the Rings. That's the wizard. That's the fourth level of consciousness. And the wizard has already seen it all and done it all. They already realize that there's more to life than what society tells us there is, than the latest car, than a mansion, than all of these things. These are just tools. But there is more that we have to become, which has nothing to do with what is actually happening. So with a wizard and how it relates to the golden age is that the wizard is the one who can be themselves, listen very closely, and still manifest. I'm the wizard, deep divers. I'm a left-handed wizard. Thank you for the offering. What does that mean? When I first started YouTube Deep Divers, I said, okay, let me test out the wizardry. I said, I'm not going to do what people want me to do. Because when I first started, I was saying, peace, infinite water. Someone said in the comment section, hey, can you not say that introduction, please? I said, no, thanks. I'm going to keep saying it. And then years later, they're like, oh, I love it so much, Ralph. Because that's an illusion as well. What people tell you is an illusion. Don't believe someone's praise. And don't believe someone's criticism. What? Slow motion this side. You got to listen to who you are. And it's got to feel right within you. So I never let people's words get to my head. And that's why I'm a wizard. You see, I told you, there's a reason why. As I'm a psychologist, deep divers, if you don't know. I'm doing daily consultations, if you don't know. Counseling for a long time, over 10 years of counseling experience. There's a reason why entertainers are very, very depressed. Comedians are very depressed. Singers sometimes can fall into a huge depression. Artists can fall into a huge depression because what happens when your voice changes? What happens when you don't have so many fans? Because your fans will turn on you. Because you've spent your whole entire life trying to please the audience. That's the artist. You're trying to please the audience. You're trying to win their approval. And by you doing that, you go outside of yourself. You become the sacrificial lamb. And that's why, like I told you, shout out to Juice WRLD, right? Shout out to XXXTentacion as well. They all used to watch my videos. Like I told you, you don't want to be somebody that's trying to take care of other people when you haven't taken care of yourself. I told you, after the artist, you have the alchemist. The alchemist is into self-healing. It's saying, wait a minute, let me work on myself. Let me balance my chakras out. But in that way, you don't have the spotlight on you. So I want to remind you, deep divers, when we talk of healing, when we talk of really becoming who we know we are, we have to stop trying to please other people. We have to stop trying to clout chase. We have to stop trying to just solely be concerned with our physical appearance, because all of that is the ego and the trap so many people get caught up in, because all of that will fade away. You see, thank you, Jeffrey, for the offering. I was very mindful. I did it on purpose, actually. When I first started YouTube, I was only wearing a black shirt, simple clothing. And, you know, I had the beautiful afro, right? Because I said, hey, people are going to appreciate me for me. And they did. Because I appreciated me for me. But a lot of people say, I got to get my ass done. I got to get a Ferrari just to look good in front of people. I got to fake the views. I got to fake the follow account just to get attention. And this is why these people have tremendous amount of depression. You see, deep divers, you got to remind yourself, and this is what the golden age is all about. Golden age is all about knowledge of self, self-knowledge. And without knowledge of self, you are lost. Shout out to everybody in the chat. So I want to remind you, deep divers, the big thing that is happening, because there is a big awakening. A lot of people, thank you, Magi, I see you, 33, I appreciate that. Because this is the great awakening. A lot of people, their eyes are opening for the first time, deep dive. They're beginning to wake up. Uh-oh, the spell is beginning to become undone. They're starting to realize that everything I thought I know is not the truth. Everything I know is a big lie. I told you, deep divers, in this matrix, how they control you is by lies, because everything is in reverse. Everything is in reverse. When you live in reverse, L-I-V-E, it becomes evil, E-V-I-L. So when you realize that they had to reverse everything, they had to say, hey, if you are eating fast food, it's cheaper, don't worry about it. Not telling you that you're going to get heart disease later on. But now people are awakening. 7-day vegan challenge. Okay, the amount of people who are they're going plant-based, deep divers. Uh-oh. And this is where the consciousness revolution begins, in what you are eating. I wake up every single day with a whole bunch of grapes in my mouth. Oh, baby. When you are eating to live deep in the golden age, and this is what it's all about on the planet. When you are realizing everything goes hand in hand with what you are eating, with how you are feeling, with what you are manifesting. Everything goes hand in hand. And that's what they don't want you to know. That just a simple piece of fruit every single day will literally change your entire life. Shout out to you, Joseph. I appreciate that. You see, deep divers, I want to remind you, a new world order is here. And it can be whatever you want it to be. It can be a new world order of, if you want, it can be one of vaccinations. It's a choice you can choose. It can be one of quarantine if you want. It can be one of thinking that the more clout you get, the better you will be off, the better you will be as a human being. Okay? Or the new world order can be when you start to realize that the power has been with you all along. And the more you unplug from the system and take your power back, the more you free yourself and the more limitless you become. That's what the Avatar was all about, deep divers. You see, people think they need to go outside of themselves. They think they have to follow the trends. They think the numbers don't lie. Deep divers, I told you. Everything is a lie in the matrix. Of course the numbers lie. You can manipulate the numbers, deep divers. I put one time, I said, the awards don't lie. Of course they lie, deep divers. You can choose who you want to give an award to. So you have to remind yourself, deep divers, everything is in reverse. And you have to remind yourself not to get caught up in these distractions that's happening on the planet. I told you, many people are still in the drone archetype. Thank you, Angelo. I appreciate you. Many people are still caught up in the drone archetype. And that is the archetype of everything is physical. Everything is purely about how much attention you can get. Look at me. This is what little children do. Attention seeking. But I told you, this is a very, very dangerous road to travel on, because many people who are on that road suffer from huge depression later on. I told you, everything I'm doing, I'm just being myself. I don't have to be an act. I don't have to pretend. What you see is what you get. That's why I'm still here. That's why I'm still going to be here in the next 50 years, younger than ever. Because I'm just me. I don't have to be a class clown, right? I don't have to do things for attention. So with a golden age comes a greater realization of who you are. A greater knowing of who you are. You see, the big thing they don't want you to know, deep divers, is that you win when you are you and not somebody else. What? Slow motion this side. Say it again, Ralph. Thank you, Tarun. I appreciate you. They don't want you to know, deep divers, that you win when you are you and not somebody else. That's when you really win. You see, I'm also a producer. I make music, deep divers. And I said, okay, is this the thing I'm supposed to be doing? Then I said, wait a minute. I already knew I had an even higher calling than just making music. I still make music, but I said, I got to do something else. I got to be on the main stage, inspiring millions of people. So I said, okay, how am I going to do all of this? The universe said, don't worry about it, Ralph. Just move into alignment with who you are. I'll show you the way. And that's what happened. So a lot of people think they can only win if they have attention. Attention is the trap, deep divers. You don't want attention. You want to make sure you can be authentic wherever you go. Reason why a lot of people are screwed up on the planet, and I'm seeing the messages, deep divers, every single day, is because who you are and who you show to the world is two different people. I'm the same all around, deep divers. I'm the same like this everywhere I go. That's why I don't have any problems that will cause me to not like who I am. I love myself, right? So I want to remind you, this is how they've controlled so many people. The big thing that's happening, though, is that many people are starting slowly to love themselves. Many people are slowly to realize that they were the one they were searching for all along. What? Many people are starting to realize, deep divers, that they were the one they were searching for all along. You see, many people go outside of themselves. There's a reason why we have artists, okay? Because I told you, an artist is somebody who's broken out of the drone archetype. They're showing you that, hey, you can be free. So many people worship artists. They say, oh my gosh, look at this artist, so free, so having so much fun, getting all the views and living this lifestyle. How come that they're living this fabulous lifestyle, okay? But they don't tell you that you yourself are a star, right? They don't want you to know that. So this is a big thing that's happening. A lot of people with a great awakening are realizing that they can be the star too. Okay? We are all stars, you see. And this is the reason why, when you realize everybody is the same. I know, deep divers, it's not that glamorous, but it's the truth. I'm the same as you. I'm no better than you, deep divers. I'm exactly you, just in a different time and space. But a lot of people, they'll tell you I'm better than you because I've got more subscribers than you. I've got more followers than you. This is the pain of humanity. Because separation is the greatest illusion ever created. What? Slow motion this side. So, I told you, in the Matrix, everything is manipulated. You see, I want you to listen to this question very carefully. If there were no subscriber count, if there was no follower count, if there was no view count, would you still watch those same people? That's the question. Many people only are watching because a lot of other people are watching. It's monkey see, monkey do. And this is the drone archetype. So I want you to remind yourself, deep divers, that you have to be able to think for yourself to say, actually, wait a minute, I have to break the program. I have to break the program that we are all one. And actually, was I before the world told me who I was? Who was I, deep divers, before the world reduced me to some followers and some likes and some subscribers? This is where the awakening happens, deep divers. This is where the awakening happens, when you realize it's all in you. Everything outside of you is just a neglected part of who you are. Let me repeat that. Everything outside of you is only a neglected part of who you are. So we have to start taking care of ourselves. The big thing that's happening right now on the planet, deep divers, is that so many people, even who I'm meeting, are starting to smile a lot more because they're starting to realize that it's all a setup. It's all rigged. It's all staged. So how do you get out of the stage? You stop acting. What? Slow motion this side. Instead of being a human doing, you become a human being. Many people are actors. And this is why you will always be trapped in the matrix. So we have to stop acting. We have to stop pretending we are somebody we aren't. And we have to really be who we are every single day. That's how you get out, deep divers. That's how you awaken to the golden age. You have to stop acting. I told you, once again, when you are truly free, you don't find a need to just impress people. You want to impress yourself. That's the only one you want to impress. And if other people like that, that's fantastic. But you're not trying to be a gladiator in the gladiator arena. Are you not entertained? That's where depression comes from. It comes from feeling unwanted, trying to get approval from other people. You have to make sure that you are doing it for yourself. That's a secret. What's happened on the planet? A lot of people clout chasing. They want the attention. They want the views. They want to be number one, most seen, most watched, most heard. But when you take that road, deep divers, when that stops, you get terrible withdrawal symptoms, because the lights will go off one day and you won't have that same attention. And now you'll wake up thinking, gosh, nobody loves me, nobody cares. So you want to be making sure you are taking care of yourself right now. Like I always told you, you have to be around people who are also on your same mission. Not people who are just trying to flex on you, trying to say, I have this and you don't have that. You want to be around people who show you that you can also be in the same position. I'm not any different from you, deep divers. That's why I say I'm your brother, right? Shout out to everybody in the chat. You are appreciated. Something big is happening, deep divers. The golden age. They don't want you to know this. Every 25,920 years, you have the precession of the equinoxes. And we are just finishing one cycle. And we're going into a whole new cycle. This is what the Mayans were talking about in 2012. That the world ended in 2012. And I told you, what the Mayans were actually talking about was not the world was ending. It's just that the apocalypse was here. Apocalypse means apocalypsis, which means a lifting of the veil. So I did the video. This is actually 2012 in the Ethiopian Orthodox calendar. It's 2012 right now, which is one of the oldest calendars on the face of the earth. So we're starting to realize as we are moving into the age of Aquarius right now, we are letting go of the old way of living, which was predominantly ego-based and is still here. Remnants of it are still here with the me, and the selfie. I always say, deep divers, you've mastered the selfie. Now master thyself. What? Slow motion this side. We are moving slowly into the age of Aquarius. And this is what it's all about, deep divers. You have to start knowing, because that's what the age of Aquarius is all about. Knowing what you came here to do on the planet. It may not be somebody who just gets a lot of attention. You may have been called to work behind the scenes. And you have to play your position. When you play your position, you will manifest. The golden age is all about that. Because in ancient Kemet or Egypt, everybody played their position. Everybody played their position. Architects, carpenters, nurses. We need all of these people. Not everybody has to be famous. And if you are somebody who just wants the Instagram fame, the YouTube fame, remind yourself that you have to make sure that you know why you're famous. What are you doing? You don't want to be somebody who is just being looked at. You want to be somebody with a lot more than that. I told you, because that will give you longevity. So shout out to you. Thank you. CZK K, I appreciate the offering. You want to make sure. I didn't chase fame, deep divers. I couldn't care less about fame. In fact, I'm a Pisces, so I already like to work behind the scenes. But I'm just in my mission. And that's why I'm uplifting millions of people every single day. And in turn, the universe has rewarded me with infinite abundance. So I'm here to show you that you can be who you came here to be. You don't have to be an Instagram model. You don't have to be a rapper. You don't have to be a singer. You don't have to be an athlete. You can be who you know you came here to be. Right? And that's a secret of the golden age. We need healers. We need scientists. We need people who are living their truth, not somebody else's. Shout out to everybody diving deep once again. I want to remind you, deep divers, with the golden age, you have to remind yourself that it's a whole process of people awakening right now on the planet. Many people who are awakening go through a whole process, go through a whole phase of a long journey. Some people have not even started that journey, deep divers. And this is what we're dealing with. So if you see someone who is just programmed in the matrix, remind yourself, don't judge them. Realize that one day they will awaken, but it's going to take a long time. For now, they will be the drone. They will be the clout chaser. And that's okay. I was that too, along my early journey. Deep divers, I was a caterpillar. I was exactly like that, deep divers. Then one day I said, wait a minute. I want to awaken out of this. I want to awaken out of this, deep divers. So you have to remind yourself every single day where people are in their reality is only a temporary state. Things will change. They're going to evolve, whether they like to or not. This is part of the golden age awakening. Everybody you see right now is in a process, a metamorphosis. It will take years, but I guarantee you in 10 years, they're going to be a totally different being. Whether they like it or not, we all are. And this is why I want you to remind yourself that you have to focus on where you are, what you're doing. I always say, if whatever they're doing, good for them. I got to focus on what I'm doing. You got to focus on what you're doing. You got to know what you're doing, where you need to go. You see, the reason why I'm in this position, deep divers, is because I focused on myself. I didn't focus on what they were doing. I didn't say, hey, you shouldn't do that. I said, hey, I got to see what I'm doing. What am I doing? Right? Because I get it. Everybody's in their own process. Everybody came to planet Earth to learn different lessons. This is what they knew in the golden age, in ancient or Egypt, in the mystery schools. They realized everybody came to this planet to learn different lessons based on their past karmic debt. And that's why I told you, it's got everything to do with the numbers, deep divers. It's got everything to do with the numbers. We can go back to Nikola Tesla. What did Nikola Tesla say, deep divers? If you only knew the magnificence of the 3, 6, and 9, then you would have a key to the universe. If you only knew the magnificence of the 3, 6, and 9, then you would have a key to the universe. Ever wondered why they told you to stay 6 feet apart, deep divers? What do they call it? Social distancing. Okay? Now the whole planet is on lockdown. Closed because of coronavirus. And a lot of people are being told, in fact, they got the whole app, Deep Divers. They got the new tracking app, which they want to bring to a place near you to stay 6 feet apart. Ever wondered why they say you got to bury someone 6 feet deep? Why the number 6? And do you ever wonder why they said, Bill Gates said he wants vaccinations within the next 18 months? That's 666. You see, everything that governs this universe is based on 3, 6, and 9. That's what Tesla knew. 3, 6, 9. 3, 6, 9. 3 is a trinity. I was born on March 3rd, Deep Divers. That's 33. I was born at 3:03. That's why the universe works in my favor. You can't go against me because the whole of the universe is working for me. What? Slow motion this side. And there's another guy by the name of 6ix9ine who was a snitch apparently. But I told you, when you align with certain numbers in the universe, you can be a snitch and come out and be the most popular artist in the world overnight. Because I told you, what did Nikola Tesla say, Deep Divers? If you only knew the magnificence of the 3, 6, and 9, then you would have a key to the universe. Everything, like I always tell you, is based on the numbers. In an esoteric level, numbers govern everything. In the matrix, the numbers are manipulated. But the original truth is, yes, the numbers don't lie. Meaning the time you were born, the day you were born, you should know your own astrology, your birth chart, your sun sign, your moon sign. All of these are numbers which will tell you about your personality. They'll tell you what you are supposed to be doing with your life. Let's take a Pisces, for example. I'm March 3rd. Claude, I appreciate the offering. I'm March 3rd, Deep Divers. Okay? And anybody who's a Pisces, Latria, I appreciate the offering. Anybody who's a Pisces knows that Pisceans gravitate towards the healers. They gravitate towards the healing arts. They're the doctors, nurses, physiotherapists, Reiki masters. Because as a Pisces, we got to go through every other zodiac sign before you get to a Pisces. That's why everybody comes to us with their issues. Because we're empaths. We're intuitive empaths. Right? And that's why Pisceans are the counselors of the planet. Shout out to everybody diving deep. So, like I told you, this is not something I chose. This is something that chose me. What? Slow motion this side. Shout out to everybody diving deep. Shout out to everybody in the chat. What about Cancer? Same thing. You know, as a Cancer, as a water sign, your job is to be the empath. You, as a Cancer, you can feel energy. You're the most sensitive sign in the zodiac. With sensitivity comes great vulnerability. With vulnerability comes great strength. So the most sensitive are actually the strongest. Because if you are sensitive, if you are vulnerable, you're actually extremely powerful. It's just that you have to learn how to protect your energy. But you are picking up more than most people. If you're a Cancer, you're picking up everything. That's why Cancers, they get affected by everything. Because they're water signs. I got to do a whole video on the zodiac. Capricorns, you know, my sisters are Capricorn Deep Divers. They're in the earthly realm. They're organized. They're structured. Many Capricorns only believe it if they see it. Because their domain is the earthly realm. They're here. They're grounded. Pisces is the total opposite. We are the dreamers. We're already in another dimension. We're actually in between worlds. And Scorpios were the shamans in all over Peru. The shamans were Scorpios. As a Scorpio, you are the shaman of the whole zodiac. That's why Scorpios are such great detectives, because they're always seeing the layers of everything, always seeing the details of everything, always realizing the intricacies of everything. Shout out to everybody diving deep once again. Aries. Aries know their power. Aries don't apologize for their greatness. That's why Aries are so powerful. Because if you tell an Aries you can't do something, they'll say, actually, I can do it. Aries are full of themselves. They're not apologizing for how great they are. So a lot of people who are in the presence of an Aries will think, gosh, they're so stuck up. They're so full of themselves. They're so cocky. They're so arrogant. But they just know their power, that's all. But where Aries can slip up is that sometimes Aries, they get too prideful. And sometimes many Aries do not know how to surrender. That's a big issue. That's why Aries have got to learn to chill out. Aries got to learn to take a chill pill, deep divers. I got to do a whole video on the zodiac. Sec, I appreciate the 111. But this is the golden age. I'll do a whole video on the zodiac, but but that has everything as well. With the golden age, you have to know that everything that you are has everything to do with the time you were born, your star sign. Okay, one of the oldest zodiacs. Okay, the Temple of Dendera. Okay, in ancient Egypt. It's all there. So Geminis are the riders of the zodiac. If you are a Gemini, you are the riders. You are so good with words. At the same time, as a Gemini, you have a split personality, meaning that you're always being pulled in different directions. You can go from peace to war in a few seconds. That's why Tupac was a Gemini, and he could write a hit 'em up. At the same time, he could write a keep your head up. Totally different, but at the same time, it's still the same being. That's the Gemini for you. Because Gemini is all about the range. They're giving you a whole range of things. You know, with a Gemini, it depends what day you meet them on sometimes. Leos are wonderful. You know, Leos are the life of the party. Ever met a Leo deep divers who just comes into the room? You know it's a Leo, because Leos are, once again, they are the sun energy. They are the fire. They are the ones who bring the warmth, the ones who bring the energy. They are the ones who, you know, when they enter the room, you know it's a Leo. You know, because they got this big energy, right? And a lot of Leos, once again, anytime you're fire, the only thing you have to do is just cool yourself off, because sometimes, once again, Leos get too prideful. They can get stuck in the ego. But it's only because they came here to shine. Sagittarius. Let me keep it going. Sagittarians are these beings, deep divers, who are always travelers, adventurers. The same thing bores them. And they don't really care too much about anything. You know, very laissez-faire. Many Sagittarians are also party animals. You know, and they just love to enjoy life. You know, and sometimes people will often say to a Sagittarian that you need to start taking life more seriously. You need to focus, but Sagittarians don't want to focus. You know, we're everywhere. Shout out to everybody diving deep once again. Deep divers, Virgos. A Virgo is actually my best match as a Pisces. Virgos always are perfectionists. They can't even try not to be perfectionists. If you know a Virgo, Virgos take their time with everything. The total opposite of a Pisces. Pisces are just like, whatever, let me do it. Virgo is the complete opposite of that. Everything has to be in a certain order. For a Virgo to create, everything has to be in a certain order. Everything has to be in a certain pattern, a certain way of doing things. If they don't do it that way, they can't do it. So a lot of Virgos really have a sense of who they are, which is fantastic. A lot of Virgos really know who they are. They really have their own way of doing things. Virgos don't do what everyone else is doing. They're always creating the trends. They don't follow the trends. Virgos are always different. That's why Nas is a Virgo. He put out Illmatic, great album. You know, Virgos take their time. I think that album took him a long time to do. Over a year. It took Nas over a year to write that album. That's what Virgos do. They take over a year just to write a song. But it comes out like Illmatic. Now, the problem with a Virgo is that they're hermits. Virgos don't go outside. They're introverts. So a lot of Virgos, the problem with Virgos is that they have to learn how to crack their shell, and they have to learn how to not be so closed off from the world all the time. Because Virgos, if you leave a Virgo, they'll be indoors all day. Shout out to everybody diving deep once again. And the Golden Age deep divers, we got talking about star signs, which is fantastic because it ties into the Golden Age. Something big is happening on the planet, deep divers. I want to remind you, like I always say, we aren't having it. I want to remind you, they had a plan for you, deep divers, and their plan didn't work. They had a plan to get you all vaccinated. They had a plan to keep you enslaved. Now, they are going to enslave a lot of people still, because there are a lot of drones on the planet, a lot of bots. But for a lot of people, they're waking up to what's happening. They won't be enslaved. And this is the Golden Age, when you realize freedom is more valuable than money. What? Slow motion this side. Is when you realize freedom is more valuable than money. When you realize freedom is your greatest asset. It is the most valuable thing that you have, that you possess. Shout out to everybody in the chat. No vaccination, absolutely not. And I want to remind you, deep divers, nobody can make you do anything that you don't want to do. I already made a video on the chosen ones. And as a chosen one, deep divers, you realize nobody can make you do anything you don't want to do, because you already know who you are. And they don't want you to get to this level of really coming into your true power. This is the highest level. It's knowledge of self. So I want to remind you, deep divers, that in this new world, like I started off with, I want you to realize that you do not have to do what everybody else is doing on the planet. You don't have to believe that because they have followers, they are any better off than you. They still have to take a dump. SME, I appreciate the offering. They still have to take a dump. We're all the same. And this is the big illusion. And this is the big thing that's happening. A lot of people are starting to realize that it doesn't actually matter how many trinkets you get in the Matrix, because these are just illusions. A lot of people are waking up for the first. They're starting to think long and deep. Wait a minute. What kind of a life have I been living? Oh my gosh, this is the awakening, deep divers. This is the big thing that's happening on the planet. Oh my gosh, this is the Golden Age, that people are starting to say, whoa, what have I been doing for the last 5 years. My entire life has been a complete lie. And I was there, deep divers. I was there. And you are going to meet a lot of people who are still there. So when you see people on social media clout chasing just to get attention, remind yourself. Thank you, Sherry. I appreciate that. Remind yourself, don't judge these people. Just realize that that's the first level. And there are levels to this shit. When you first start, you just want people to notice you. You just want attention. You want other people's attention. It's because, once again, you don't know who you are. The more you know who you are, instead of seeking other people's attention, you seek your own. Oh my God. Slow motion this side. DD, I appreciate that. Instead of seeking other people's attention, you seek your own. That's why I told you, deep divers, when you are truly awake, when you are aware, what happens? You start to meditate. You start to align. You start to go on the journey within. Everything outside of you becomes an illusion. And you start to value the inner experience more than the outer experience. And that's what's happening to so many people with a great awakening right now. That's why it's a beautiful time. I told you, even though it seems like it's the end, enlightenment, I appreciate you. Even though it seems like it's the end, deep divers, this is nothing more than a new beginning. But I want to remind you, there are going to be a lot of distractions because this is the end, deep divers, of the world as we know it. So therefore, as people, shout out to you, Shah, I appreciate the offering. As people are awakening, there are also people who are being kept in greater servitude. So as people are rising out of the sleep, people will also fall back into a deeper sleep. So you have to make sure every single day that doesn't become you. You have to say, wait a minute, I get it. We're in a game of tricks. This is how they have controlled you, through deception, through lies, through corruption, through fear. This is how they've controlled you every single day. And this chap here, Nikola Tesla, he died broke, deep divers. If you don't know, Nikola Tesla died broke in a hotel room. But he's the reason why you have the internet today. He is the reason why we have wireless technology today. But in his time, because he wanted to give the whole world free energy, that wasn't too popular. Because they said, wait a minute, if you want to give the whole world free energy, how the hell are we going to make money? So Edison came along and said, don't worry, I'll charge them for it. And then you have the electric meter. So with the golden age comes a great awakening. And this is what they don't want you to know. There is something called free energy. Ever wondered why you got to pay your electric bill when there is an infinite amount of energy on the planet? That's what Tesla wanted to do for the whole planet. Give everybody free energy. So you can talk on the phone as long as you want. You can keep the light on as long as you want. Right? And this is what we are going back to, a world of free energy. And they don't want you to know about free energy. So remind yourself, deep divers, we are incredibly powerful. We are the power, not them. We are the majority. We are the majority, not them. What they have is people who are asleep under their spell. And this is why it seems like they are in control. But I told you, deep divers, you cannot hold something down that was designed to rise. What? Slow motion this side. If you try and hold a ball underwater that's meant to float to the top, it's going to take you more pressure to hold that ball down than it is for that ball to come up on the surface. That's what's happening. They can try and hold you down, but they can't keep you down forever, because you're in your cells. You have the program to always rise. And this is why you already won. But at the same time, it's about you staying awake. It's about you staying aware that actually, I don't want to get complacent, because anybody who awakens can also go back to sleep through alcohol addiction, drug addiction, distractions with entertainment. So you have to make sure every single day. And that's why I was in that fast lifestyle too, deep divers. I was caught up in the flashing lights. I said, hey, I want to go to Hollywood one day. I want to be on the red carpet. I want the whole world to love me. That's what I said one day, deep divers. I said, I want them to know who I am. I want them to praise me. I want them to ask me for my autograph. And this is where a lot of people are. They want everybody to love them without loving themselves. Slow motion this side. You don't want to be like that. You don't want everybody. Mr. Gbree, I appreciate the offering. Thank you. You don't want Barbara, I appreciate the offering. Thank you. You don't want everybody to love you if you don't love yourself, because that's where a lot of people are right now. They want everybody to love them. You know, if you ever seen that film, Requiem for a Dream, you have to realize, deep divers, there's a woman in that film. She was very famous, and she's looking at herself on the TV, if I can remember the film a long time ago. She's looking at herself when she was younger, and she was getting all of this attention, and now she's old, she's smoking, she looks terrible. Because she was so addicted to that once it's gone, she doesn't know how to exist, because she placed all of her value in something outside of her. So I always tell you, deep divers, as soon as you wake up, make sure you do something for you. You don't have to check your phone as soon as you wake up. You don't have to go on the gram as soon as you wake up. You don't have to say, hey, how many followers do I have as soon as I wake up? You don't have to compare yourself, deep divers, to other people as soon as you wake up. You don't have to look at her butt as soon as you wake up. You don't have to say, oh, I wish I was her as soon as you wake up. You don't have to say, oh my gosh, am I missing out as soon as I wake up? No, deep divers, you can take a break from Instagram. You can do that. It's going to be more beneficial to you in the long run. That's what I had to do. Say, wait a minute, I got to start getting to know me. And this is what the golden age is all about. It's all about knowledge of self before knowledge of others. What? Slow motion this side. That's what the golden age is all about. Thomas, I appreciate you. CZK333, one love to you. I appreciate the offering. That's what the golden age is all about. It's all about knowledge of self before knowledge of others. A lot of people wake up and they say, gosh, what's my favorite celebrity doing? Okay, you wake up, you say, gosh, what are they doing on Instagram? What's 6ix9ine doing? So you are living through other people vicariously, deep divers. You don't even have a life of your own. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. You are living through a celebrity because your own life sucks. And this is why a lot of people lose their power. You have to remind yourself, deep divers, you are the celebrity. It's like Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt in a room. That's what it's got to be like. Any celebrity that you're worshiping, you got to stop that. You got to say, wait a minute, I'm as good as them. I'm as good as Justin Bieber, Eminem, all of these people. What makes them any different than me? They take a dump just like me. They bleed red just like me. So we have to stop the idolatry, the worship of other people who are exactly like us. This is what the golden age is all about. But I told you, the one way the cabal, and they are smart, they're not stupid, the one way they could trick humanity was to create separation. They told you someone is more, your wealth is, your health is your wealth. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. They told you someone is better than you because more people follow them. They told you someone was better than you because they got a better body than you. And they're getting you to focus, once again, just on the physical. And the physical is always the least of what you can actually see. There's always more going on behind the scenes. Always more. A lot of people, they message me when I see their Instagram profile is totally different. There's a disconnect because many people are just stunting on the gram, flexing on the gram, but behind closed doors in their quiet moments, they're a totally different person. I told you, the whole world is a stage. The way to get off is to stop acting. Oh my God, deep divers, slow motion this side. We got to stop going along with the game, with the acting game, trying to be someone we're not. You see, I told you with the levels of consciousness, this is why who you are, deep divers, will naturally attract a certain amount of attention. But a lot of people become someone else for a day and they realize that gets them more attention. So they say, wait a minute, let me stick with this persona because I know this is what's going to get the most attention, even though it's not who I really am. At the same time, this is what gets the attention. So many people say, I'm not good enough. I need to be someone else to get attention. And this is what millions of people are doing on the planet. And it's only a road that leads to disaster. So I was on that road, deep divers, many years ago. And luckily I changed. But I know what it's like. That's why I don't judge these people. Because I know what it's like when you're screaming for attention. You're like a little child. Hey, look at me. Hey, look at me. But you're asking them to look at you. Have you looked at yourself today in the mirror? What? Slow motion this side. Something big is happening on the planet. Arturus, I appreciate you. Is that a lot of people are realizing that we are absolutely all one. Woo! We're doing the 360, baby. We are all one. Absolutely. And we have to start treating each other like that. We have to start coming together. We have to start realizing we are all in this together. Nobody's better than anybody else. Today's Wendy, I appreciate you. We are all one. And deep divers, when you realize that we are all one, well, you just say, feels so good to be alive, baby. Can I get a hello there? Beautiful deep divers. I'm just, woo, breathing in that good ass prana, baby. Shout out to everybody on the live chat. I appreciate each one of you. You are appreciated. Deep divers, like I told you, we are the power. If you've got a question for me, let me know in the chat. I'll answer it. And if you've got a question for the Instagram, add me on Instagram at official Ralph Smart. Check out the new book, Deep Divers, for more information like this. Feel Alive by Ralph Smart on Amazon. And check out the beautiful Infinite Waters clothes at ralphsmart.com/clothes. If you are a sexy ass model, woo, with a lot of heart, let me know as well. Deep divers, I'm sending you all good energy. May your day be May your day be beautiful, deep divers. We are truly in a golden age. You are appreciated. And at this time of the show, I ask you, if you got a question in the chat, let me know. Fire away. If there's something you want to ask me in lifetime, let me know. I'll read it. We'll go in on it. Is Nibiru coming? It's already here. That was a short one. Shout out to everybody diving deep once again. A lot of people, what's my favorite crystal? Turquoise, absolutely, turquoise. You know, I've worn my turquoise crystal in so many of my videos. You know, I'm always wearing it. Also quartz crystal, also emerald. Emerald crystals are beautiful. Shout out to everybody diving deep. A lot of people asking questions. Let me try and read the chat as quickly as I can. How can I be one with a hateful person? That's a powerful question. I want to remind you that anything you hate, you become. Let me repeat that. Anything you hate, you become. Anything you hate, you become. So if you are dealing, Zomboy, I appreciate the offering, 1111. So if you are dealing with a hateful person and you want to piece it up with them, you have to just not give them that space in your mind. Don't make them a hateful person. Even labeling someone as hateful, you're already giving them power. You're already creating separation between you and them. There are only people in the world. There are people you get on with and people you got to let them go. That's all. Remind yourself, deep divers, negativity can only affect you when you are vibrating at the same frequency. Rise higher. I don't have any negative people in my life because if they are there, I just raise my frequency. Then they don't exist. Where did they go? Where did they go, deep divers? Right? A lot of people are stuck with negative people in the household, at work, but you have to remind yourself you got to go somewhere where you are out of that energy field. Shout out to everybody diving deep. How do you maintain a higher state of being? Let me read that question again. How do you maintain a higher state of being? Shout out to everybody in the chat. Daily meditation is how to maintain a higher state of being, deep divers, every single day. Daily meditation, daily being in alignment with who you are. I told you. A lot of people are stuck clout chasing. That was me when I was like 15. But you grow up, right? You got to be you unapologetically every single day. Shout out to everybody in the chat. We're truly living in a great time, deep divers. I want to shout out to each and every one of you. Peace, infinite waters, diving deep once again. Stay well, stay healthy. Peace. You. Okay, got any questions? Let me know. We had a great show, deep divers. You are appreciated. Do I believe in time travel? Absolutely, because we are multi-dimensional beings, deep divers. I'm everywhere. How do you access the Akashic records? It's a great question. You need to make sure every single day, once again, you are disconnecting from technology. You see, there's a reason why you had more clairvoyance in the past. Sala, I appreciate that. You had more clairvoyance, more mediums in the past because they didn't have this interference. Technology actually means take knowledge. It takes your energy. We use the technology as a tool, but we should never ever use the technology as something to define who we are. When you wake up, deep divers, and you are using technology to give you a sense of worth, to give you a sense of value, this is where a lot of people fall short. They wake up, their phone is their God. And technology can never replace who you really are. Technology is a servant. Many have made it a master. So make sure you are going within yourself without your phone in the way. Turn the damn phone off. Shout out to everybody diving deep once again. Have I come to Greece? I'm coming to Greece this summer, absolutely. Once again, deep divers, can you do a meditation on your next live? Absolutely, I can. Absolutely, deep divers. Shout out to everybody diving deep. You said, can I elaborate on the rainbow children? Absolutely. Remind yourself that in the 1960s, Nancy Ann Tappy, a parapsychologist who had synesthesia, which is when you can hear colors and see sounds, she noticed that children that were being born had an indigo aura. And she noticed that these beings were specifically coming on the planet to raise the vibrational frequency of the planet. They were the indigos. They were these beings who were so removed from the matrix, and they gave birth to the crystals, and the crystals gave birth to the rainbow. So you have a lot of rainbow children right now on the planet. These are the young ones who are ahead of their time and who know they're saying, hey, we don't want vaccinations. Yeah, all of these people. D Brown, I see you. Shout out for the offering. I appreciate that. These are the ones who are young, but at the same time, they've got all the wisdom. These are the rainbows. They're young, 19, 18, and they're already awake and aware. They're already here on the planet. And that's why we're in the Great Awakening. A lot of these young ones are awake. They're aware. They know who they are. They know they're not willing to eat up the lie like they used to. Deep divers, you are appreciated. I'm sending you all good energy. And much love to everybody. Deep divers, we are gods and goddesses, absolutely. I love you all, deep divers. Once again, Unique Monica, I appreciate that. We'll be back on the live tomorrow, most probably. If you've got a question, get it ready. And email me if you've got a question you want me to dive into. Instagram me. Thank you for the offering. You know, a lot is happening on the planet right now, deep divers. Just remind yourself that you have to be tuned into who you really are. That's how you go to the next level. Shout out to you in the chat. I'm enjoying reading the comments in the chat in live time. I love you all, deep divers. Remind yourself, we are the power. We always were, and we always will be. You're asking, what about artificial intelligence? Once again, that's only a downgrade. An upgrade is organic intelligence, not artificial. Something that is artificial is always a replica. It's always a cheap copy, no matter how expensive it is. That's what artificial intelligence is. It's only mimicking the human being. And they might replace human beings because human beings have lost their knowing of who they are. But many people who are the chosen ones know exactly who they are. And that's a secret. Deep divers, you are appreciated. Mary, I appreciate you. No, I don't believe vaccinations will be mandatory. I know they want to make vaccinations mandatory. They won't be mandatory because, once again, nobody can make you do something against your will. What they will do is that they will say, if you have not been vaccinated, you can't maybe travel to a certain country. Many countries will say, hey, we're only allowing, in the next few months, they'll say we're only allowing people who are cleared from the virus to the country. They could say that. But they can't make you take any virus, any vaccination. You have your rights. You have your power. And deep diver, shout out to you, Cotton, for the so I appreciate that. What's really causing climate change? That's a great question. Best live, yeah, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Climate change, we have to realize, and this is why I've been plant-based for over 15 years because over 60% of greenhouse gas emissions are caused by animals, right? Caused by animal meat production. So what's causing climate change is the over 64 billion animals slaughtered every single year. Do you know why the Amazon rainforest is being destroyed as I speak? It's to rear livestock. You remember when they had those burning forests in the Amazon? It was just to rear livestock. So we have to remind ourselves that everything that goes around comes around. And we can't kill over 64 billion animals every single year and expect peace on the planet. There's only going to be total anarchy. And that's what's happening right now. So we have to become mindful to say, wait a minute, we've got to start taking care of animals on the planet. This is the missing link, deep divers. There's a reason why a lot of people are stuck. A lot of people are ill because human beings have been very cruel to other life forms on the planet, experimenting on monkeys, all kind of things. You think that everything is going to be kosher? No, there's going to be a karmic debt that humanity has to pay. But the beautiful thing is that a lot of people are awakening right now and saying, actually, what I do matters. What I do to the world matters. I have an impact on the world. Deep divers, Ralph, your skin is so beautiful. Well, thank you so much. I was actually shaving, right? Get the little hairs off the side, deep divers. Deep divers, you are appreciated. We're just having fun. Life is good right now, deep divers. I'm sending you good energy. Once again, we are the power. We are the power. We are the power. Can I get a hello there? Deep divers, we're raising the frequency, raising the vibration. You are amazing, deep divers. I'm sending you lots of love. Remind yourself, let love guide you, not fear. You got this. Shout out to everybody who was on the live chat. I love you all. I'll be back, deep divers, for another episode tomorrow. Join me again. I love you all. Peace.